Marcus Wellington III had seen every con, every scheme, every desperate pitch that poverty could manufacture. 23 years of building his pharmaceutical empire had carved away whatever softness might have once existed in his heart. So when the filthy child stepped in front of his Mercedes at the traffic light, Marcus didn't even blink. His driver would handle it. They always did. But then the boy spoke. His voice cut through the bulletproof glass, through the classical music, through Marcus's carefully constructed walls. "Sir, I can make your daughter walk again." Marcus's hand froze on his phone, his throat constricted. The spreadsheet he'd been reviewing blurred before his eyes. Nobody knew about Emily. Nobody outside his innermost circle understood that his daughter, his precious 12-year-old girl, had been confined to a wheelchair for 3 years. The accident had been kept quiet, the medical struggles hidden behind iron gates and non-disclosure agreements. He pressed the intercom button. "Stop the car." His driver, Thompson, glanced back with concern. "Sir, it's just another—" "I said stop the car." The Mercedes rolled to a halt. Marcus stared at the boy through the tinted window. The kid couldn't have been more than 14, wearing clothes that might have once been blue but were now the color of city streets. His feet were bare, cracked and bleeding. But his eyes, those eyes held something Marcus hadn't seen in any of the world-renowned specialists who'd examined Emily. They held certainty. Marcus lowered the window halfway. "What did you say?" The boy didn't flinch at the venom in Marcus's tone. "Your daughter, Emily. She fell from a horse 3 years ago, shattered her T12 vertebra. The doctors say it's permanent." He paused, letting each word land like a stone. "They're wrong." The blood drained from Marcus's face. "Who sent you? Which competitor? I'll destroy them. Nobody sent me, sir." The boy's voice remained steady, respectful even. "I see things, I know things, and I know I can help her." Marcus's laugh came out harsh and bitter. "You? A street urchin? My daughter has been examined by the finest neurologists in the world, Johns Hopkins, Mayo Clinic. I flew in a specialist from Switzerland who's performed miracles. And you think you, with your dirty hands and ridiculous claims, can do what they couldn't?" The boy simply nodded. "Yes, sir, I can." Something in that quiet confidence made Marcus hesitate. He'd built his fortune on reading people, on sensing opportunity where others saw only risk. This child was either the most dangerous con artist he'd ever encountered, or something else entirely. Something impossible. "Get in the car," Marcus heard himself say. Thompson's eyes widened in the rearview mirror. "Sir, we can't just—" "I said get in." Marcus's voice left no room for argument. The boy climbed into the back seat, leaving a trail of dust on the pristine leather. He sat perfectly still, his hands folded in his lap, seeming not to notice or care about the luxury surrounding him. The car smelled of imported leather and money. Now it also smelled of the streets. Marcus studied him closely as Thompson pulled back into traffic. "What's your name, boy?" "Jacob, sir." "Well, Jacob, you've made quite a claim. Either you're about to change my life or I'm about to have you arrested for fraud, stalking, and a dozen other charges my lawyers will dream up. Do you understand that?" "Yes, sir." "You don't seem afraid." "Fear won't help your daughter walk, sir." The simple logic of it struck Marcus silent. They rode in tense quiet as the city gave way to the suburbs, then to the gated communities where people like Marcus insulated themselves from people like Jacob. The irony wasn't lost on either of them. Marcus's mansion rose from manicured grounds like a monument to excess. 3 stories of Georgian architecture, tennis courts, an Olympic pool, and a separate wing that had been converted into Emily's medical suite. As the car crunched up the gravel drive, Marcus saw his wife Sarah through the drawing room window. She'd aged 10 years in the last 3. They both had. "Listen to me very carefully," Marcus said as Thompson opened the door. "My daughter has been through hell. If you upset her, if you give her false hope, if you cause her one moment of additional pain, I will make sure you regret ever speaking to me. Am I clear?" "Crystal clear, sir." Jacob stepped out of the car, his bare feet touching grass that cost more to maintain than most people's mortgages. He looked up at the house, without apparent awe or intimidation. "Which window is hers?" Marcus pointed to a corner room on the second floor, where custom rails and ramps had turned architectural beauty into medical necessity. "The one with the blue curtains." Jacob nodded slowly, his eyes narrowing slightly as if he could see through the walls. "She's reading right now. Poetry. She's crying, but not because she's sad. Because the words are beautiful, and beauty hurts when you think you'll never dance again." Marcus felt his knees weaken. Emily had been a dancer, a prodigy. The accident had stolen more than her ability to walk. It had stolen her dream, her identity, her future. And yes, she read poetry now, constantly, though she tried to hide the tears. "How could you possibly know that?" Marcus's voice came out as a whisper. "I told you, sir. I see things." Jacob started walking toward the house. "We should go to her now. The longer we wait, the harder this becomes." Marcus followed in a daze, his mind racing through possibilities. Private investigator? Someone on his staff selling information? But no amount of surveillance could tell you what a child was reading at this exact moment, or why she was crying. Sarah met them at the door, her face a mixture of confusion and alarm. "Marcus, what on earth?" "This boy says he can help Emily." His wife's expression cycled through disbelief, hope, and fury in seconds. "Marcus Wellington, have you lost your mind? You brought a homeless child into our home because he made some wild promise. We've been down this road with healers and faith workers and snake oil salesmen. I won't put Emily through that again." "Then don't." Jacob's young voice cut through their argument with surprising authority. "Don't tell her I'm here to help. Tell her I'm here to talk. Tell her I'm someone who understands. Tell her anything you want. Just let me see her." Marcus and Sarah exchanged a look that contained 3 years of desperate hope and crushing disappointment. Sarah's hand trembled on the banister as they climbed the curved staircase. Marcus followed behind Jacob, watching the boy's bare feet leave faint prints on the cream carpet. Every instinct screamed that this was madness, yet something deeper, some primal parental desperation, pushed him forward. Emily's room was a contradiction. On one side, the walls were covered with photographs of her dancing, mid-leap, mid-spin, her body defying gravity with the grace that had won her 3 national championships before her 10th birthday. On the other side, medical equipment hummed softly, monitoring a body that doctors said would never leap again. She sat by the window in her wheelchair, a leather-bound book of Rumi's poetry open in her lap. When the door opened, she quickly wiped her eyes and forced a smile that broke Marcus's heart every single time. "Dad? Mom?" Her gaze shifted to Jacob, and confusion flickered across her face. "Who's this?" Marcus opened his mouth, but no words came. What could he possibly say? Sarah stepped forward, her voice carefully controlled. "This is Jacob, sweetheart. He's someone your father met today. He wanted to talk with you." Emily's eyes narrowed with the suspicious intelligence of a child who'd been disappointed too many times. "Is he another doctor? Because I'm done with doctors. I'm done with people who poke and prod and promise things they can't deliver." "I'm not a doctor," Jacob said simply. He walked to her bookshelf, his fingers trailing along the spines until he found what he was looking for. The collected works of Maya Angelou. "She's your favorite, isn't she?" "Not Rumi. You read Rumi when you're sad, but Maya makes you feel strong." Emily's mouth opened slightly. "How did you underline this part?" Jacob opened the book to a dog-eared page, though he couldn't have known which one. "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise." You read that every morning. It's your armor. Tears spilled down Emily's cheeks. "Who are you?" Jacob pulled up a chair and sat down, making himself level with her. His street-hardened face softened into something gentle, almost otherworldly. "I'm someone who sees things others don't. And I see you, Emily. Not the girl in the wheelchair. not the broken dancer. I see who you really are. I don't understand. Emily's voice cracked. What do you want from me? Nothing. I want to give you something. Jacob leaned forward. Do you remember the accident? I mean, really remember it. Emily's face went pale. Marcus moved to intervene, but Sarah grabbed his arm, holding him back. Their daughter had never wanted to talk about that day with anyone. I remember, Emily whispered. Thunder. The horse spooked. I hit the jump wrong, and then I was flying. Then I was falling. Then nothing. Not nothing, Jacob said softly. In that moment between flying and falling, what did you feel? I don't. Emily stopped, her brow furrowing. I felt free, completely free, like I could go anywhere, be anything. Like gravity was just a suggestion I could choose to ignore. Her voice grew distant, remembering. It was the most beautiful feeling I've ever had. And then it was gone, and I was on the ground, and everything hurt, and I couldn't move my legs. That feeling, Jacob said, his eyes intense. That wasn't the fall. That was your body remembering what it was made to do. You were born to move, Emily. Your spine knows that. Your muscles know that. Your bones know that. The only thing that doesn't know it is your fear. Marcus couldn't stay silent anymore. Now wait just a damn minute. Her spine is damaged. We've seen the MRIs, the CT scans. This isn't about fear or positive thinking or any New Age nonsense. This is medical fact. Jacob turned to face him, and for a moment, Marcus saw something ancient in those young eyes. Medical fact says bumblebees can't fly. Their bodies are too heavy, their wings too small. The math doesn't work. But nobody told the bumblebees, so they fly anyway. He looked back at Emily. Your doctors see the damage. They see what's broken. But they can't see what I see. They can't see the pathways your nerves are building around the injury. They can't see your body fighting every single day to reconnect what was severed. They can't see that you're already healing. You're just healing so slowly that nobody notices. That's impossible, Sarah breathed. Is it? Jacob stood and walked to Emily's closet. He pulled out a pair of worn ballet slippers, pink satin faded to almost white. 3 months ago, you asked your physical therapist if you'd ever feel your toes again. She said no. But last week, when the weather changed, you felt a tingling in your left foot. You didn't tell anyone because you thought you were imagining it. Emily's hands flew to her mouth. How could you know that? Because it's real. The tingling is real. Your body is real. Your healing is real. Jacob knelt before her wheelchair. May I? She nodded, not trusting her voice. Jacob gently removed her slippers and placed his hands on her feet. They were calloused hands, rough from street life, but his touch was surprisingly gentle. Close your eyes, he instructed. Think about that moment in the air, not the fall, the flight. Remember what freedom felt like in your body. Emily closed her eyes. Marcus and Sarah watched, frozen, as color slowly returned to their daughter's face. The room seemed to hold its breath. Now, Jacob said quietly, I'm going to press on different points of your foot. Don't tell me if you feel it. Just think yes or no in your mind. He began pressing, moving from her heel to her toes. Marcus couldn't see anything happening, couldn't detect any change, but Emily's breathing had shifted. It was deeper, more focused. After several minutes, Jacob sat back. You felt 7 out of 10. Last week you would have felt 3. Next week you'll feel all 10. But the doctors said, Emily began. The doctors don't know everything, Jacob interrupted gently. They know what usually happens. But you're not usual, Emily. You never were. Dancers who make it to nationals at 9 years old? That's not usual. That's exceptional. And exceptional bodies heal exceptionally. Marcus found his voice, though it shook. What are you saying? That you'll walk again? That's not possible. Jacob stood, meeting Marcus's eyes with unwavering certainty. Sir, possible and impossible are just words doctors use when they've stopped looking for answers. I'm saying Emily's body is already healing. I'm saying with the right guidance, the right exercises, the right belief, she won't just walk. He turned to Emily, a slight smile crossing his face. She'll dance. The room erupted in questions, in protests, in desperate hope. But Jacob simply stood there, calm and certain, as if he'd already seen the future and knew exactly how this story ended.